Okay. We're live, we're live. Let me check everything here. Not using this account no more. Thank you, bro. Hope you find it useful. Okay, so let's get back into this one. Gonna make sure we create some other assets, and I was thinking about some wooden assets because we already have a lot of concrete assets, so they're pretty much working for us. So I really need, the more concrete assets. We can use more different kind of material. So I got a bunch of assets here that we could use. Let's type wood here. Let's just go for static mesh just to see what we have. And what we can try is to put some kind of scaffolding or something like that. That could work. But first we need to check what we got here. So we got this thing here. Okay. For here, balcony planks. Looks like these are assets that are working together, most likely. And we can put things like that, and then just try to create some path for the player. And create some ropes later, but let's see. So this one, okay, so this one is actually the better option. Oh, it's another option. Okay, it's very funny because this one has the support wood that you normally need in this kind of cases like this, right? You can put the wood here. This is very funny. This is very, very funny. Let me get off the Steam for now. Okay. Okay, so this one should be another one. I like this one a lot. What the hell is a canopy? I will be showing you how to create some extra assets for... Usually in environments you want to have like different types of assets for your environment. Otherwise, it's gonna look very very plain. And we already have a lot of concrete and brick. My plan can be a lot of concrete. We can add some wood. We can add some clothes into it. So okay, so this will be kind of like the tent, I believe. And let's take a look at this one. Extension details. This one looks a very good one. I'm gonna separate the ones that I like. Actually, I'm gonna create a collection here. So we may need it later. So let's put wooden structures. And let's just put these ones here. Actually, all this. Are you working on a game? Are you working on something for yourself, or are you into environment art, into coding? What are you into? Okay, let's put this guy here. Net. I don't really need to add this. guy here is fine. Roof panels. Okay. I feel like I can use these panels for covering some areas. Definitely I don't want this anymore. So I'm gonna delete this one. I don't really need it. Probably we can put some wood here to make the top floor a little bit more interesting. Yeah, could work. Maybe we will use another one. Landscape stuff, no landscape stuff today. Landscape is pretty much done for this game, actually. Like, all this is it's already using a master material for the landscape. I think I've shown before in other live streams. I have done that before, and also in the in the UNF channel. I think I did share my landscape material. So sticks, it could be a useful one. Let's go here. Terrace decor. I believe this one is for. I don't think it's for this one. Let's go 50 degrees. Let's just check this. Things like that definitely help. Definitely help for adding more elements to the scene. That can work. Can also go for this one. And we can just put something like this. At this point, I'm just trying. I'm not trying to. So all this, for sure, they go here. And obviously, this one is like here, right? Yeah. I'm gonna put the snapping for the angles just now, because we're working with architecture. Yeah, we're gonna add more scaffolding. Bars we're gonna add later. We're gonna add more scaffolding and a lot of wooden platforms. We need to add it in a way that it also affects the gameplay, not only like like scaffolding for visuals. We need to create some kind of platforms and modular pieces that we can reuse over and over for the rest of the game. You don't want to do this twice. This one we already put it here. So one is very interesting. Let me see how it looks like. Interesting. This guy is not really matching here. I can take a look at the examples later. Wood decor. Okay, this one is really good. This one is really good. Did I add this ones? I think I did. Static mesh. Yeah. Wooden structures. And these ones we will add for sure. All this good stuff. Good stuff. What about this one? Okay. This one we can think about it later. But definitely gonna add it. This one also works, has some different forms and shapes. And this one's too. Definitely gonna add those. And wood details. What is this? This should be for the balcony. We're not gonna add those. Those are for I don't know what, but it's not for us. The floor can be interesting because we can just add it here. And we can add some wooden platforms into it. Some shops or whatever. So we're gonna add all this. Except this. This one we want. This one is for another thing. Yeah, this one for sure. So let's grab all this. And let's put it here in the wooden structure. So we have 37 assets that we could use. For now, let's try to get some inspiration from let's go here, probably. We don't need to save this. Okay, so the canopies are here. I think I wanna add some canopy assets to the world as well. We're gonna take that later, not now. And obviously the wood assets are like this. Let me take a look at this Grand Bazaar. Assets overview. It's amazing how much you can do with only one kit. Later you can add more kits. But I like to squeeze as much as possible before adding anything new, see if I can just use this one kit for one purpose. I was just checking. I don't know if you know Design Cinema. It's the school for concept design in Singapore. The guy just put a new video after 2 years. It was very interesting. Gonna share that with you while this works. I think it's really cool. So this school is in Singapore. And he just put this video. The last video he had was 2 years ago. And he was explaining a lot of things like, looks like he got kind of burnout. Like he went on you know, traveling for like I think it was 2 years of taking the time off just to relax. And he just got back to it after 2 years. It's very like it's very cool. I even changed like the logo. It used to be red, now it's blue. I like this. This is cool. My friend went there. He's I think he's associate director on art director on Ubisoft. I think that was his position recently. I'm not entirely sure, but he went there and he told me it was brutal. Brutal, like it was really hard, really hard. So, okay, this is what we need. Cool thing about this kit is like we get a lot of these guys and the camels. Obviously, these are more target for concept art. So, okay, I like this. I like this. I'm gonna put this here. But I don't like this as a mesh. I think it's too not modular enough. Wood floor, we took a look at that. These are all the canopy, all that stuff. This is where you put the animals, right? Boxes, that's all good. That's all good. I don't think they made this kit thinking about, you know, scaffolding. We will just have to, you know, make our way there. This one we know. So these are all concrete assets. We don't really looking for that. We already have that pretty much sorted out. This one can be a good one. Okay, so it looks like it's just this. It's just this one. Not really getting too fancy here. It's just this one. If you do the model in Blender, you do the shaders for it. Does it transfer to Unity? Or do you have to redo the shaders? That one, I don't know. I mean, typically the shaders will be done inside the engine. Because obviously Blender and Unity are different types of rendering engines. One is offline rendering. Unity is real-time rendering. So the shading, obviously, it's calculated in a different way. So shaders won't be compatible there. There's like, even if you export the material, maybe it will create a simple material for you. But I don't think it will work like, you know, 100%. You still need to do the shader in Unity. That's my guess. You put level here. You still need to do the shader there, which is not very hard. I mean, unless you're doing like BFX or things of that nature, shaders are relatively simple, doable. Okay, so I like the fact that you can put these ones between those. What kind of rendering is this? So weird. So weird, the rendering. I didn't know we have this ground. Yeah, we can fake the windows with that. Um, oh god, balcony wall. Interesting. And this one for sure we can. Yeah. Okay. Enough inspiration, I guess. Let's go back here. There's no waste time for trying this stuff. I mean, that's the only way you can learn. Like when I started out, I also tried a lot of stuff that I wouldn't do today, just because I needed to know, what was the, you know what I mean, right? The best way to do that. And I find that it's really like you have to try. You have to try. I will spend less time thinking about the technical details, more time thinking about the not technical details, such as like how do you make things look good. You can learn sculpting, you can learn some arts there, things like that. So definitely you can think about that. Okay, so balcony planks. Let's see if this works. We don't want to put a stick there. Definitely we want to make like a ramp here. And I think we may need some staircase. I think we had one here. Not really what I was looking for, but it definitely helps for the transition. It's a very good one, for sure. It does work. Let me try to put the character here. I mean the technical part, you will eventually get it. It's not something you can like. Technical part is easy. That's the hard part. It's the making the right decisions. That's the hard part. That's definitely the hard part. I think here we may need some kind of different treatment. That's too long for 20 degrees looks fine. Let's have a look. Also, it's very thin. It is very thin, and this thing, the collision is wrong. Yeah. There you go. Probably I will just create my own assets, because first I'm gonna try with this, but if this doesn't work, I'm gonna try with my own assets. Yeah, it's definitely too thin for me. Too thin. I don't think I can use that. We will have to create our own assets, so let's go back to Bridge. I think I do have something already downloaded. Maybe. Nah. Do I have some favorites? How come I don't have favorite here? Wood. 3D assets. And let's just see if I can find it. Oh, I need to sign in. Okay. Let me see. Oh, I already signed in. I don't need to. Okay. That's weird. Okay, now I have favorites. That's a thing I hate about these mega scans. Like, they always kick you out, no matter how often you use them. This is really slow. I mean, they're great. It's a great tool. But what? I'm just gonna find them again. Yes, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. That's true. That's true. I mean, if you think about it, you're just creating a piece of art. What's the harm? What are the consequences of not doing it right? Why make you think you have that pressure is because probably at work things are expected to work or not, right? If you work for a game company, they will expect you to do something. It is new. They will expect you to do something that fulfills their needs. And that can be very subjective sometimes, and it's very frustrating. I'm gonna download the high quality of this, but I won't use the 4K version. I don't need a nanite version for this. I don't need it at all. I think just working for someone in a company in a video game studio will just make things more stressful. Like you have to make it right. Like that's the only way. What the hell? Oh, it's not this one. Old wood beam. There you go. Let's export this because this is not good. Export. Okay. We won't use the 4K version. Not at all. Not at all. See, let's see what is the rise transparency as transparency, I guess. Let's just go here. Let's try to check the right colors for this. This seems fine. This seems really fine. So let's do the same here. Okay. We don't have alpha, so we're fine. So we're just gonna decrease the size. You can already see from 192 megabytes to 48 megabytes. That's, and we can even go lower, but I mean, this kind of asset, I don't think we're gonna need a lot of a lot of detail, but just in case, we will leave the fine details of the optimization at the end. No, not now. So let's see. Maybe we can just save it like this. Let's reimport with a new file. Can we reimport? Yeah, we cannot. So let's just reimport the same one. Got that? 2K. Reimport. This one is not normal. Reimport, and this one is this one. Much better. Much better. And it can be even lower, I think, but let's just mark them for add. But yeah, you know, I've been having periods of my whole career where just where I took it too seriously and I stopped enjoying what I do. I mean, that's kind of like the mindset of getting better at something and then just focusing on that, and that's the only thing that matters. I have had periods like that. I also have had periods where I just didn't care at all, and I think those were my most happy moments, for sure. For sure. So obviously working for a company, it's personally it's not my thing. Personally, I think you're way better off on your own, doing something you like, taking it as a hobby. Like now, I take this as a hobby. Like I don't no desire to just think about some other things other than just just want to create a project and that's it. Forgot to delete those. Export. Yep. Okay. Let's grab those here. I don't know what will happen if I really have transparency. I will need to check that. And why is my texture so big? XAR. Oh, it's 32 bits. No wonder it's so heavy. I want to change the bits. And if that's the case, I shouldn't have delete the other ones. But anyway, let's just go back here. 8 bits. Merge. Default. Is this the same one? Yeah. Exposure and gamma. Yeah, so here, image size 192 megabytes. That's crazy. Go here, merge, exposure, gamma. Okay. Image size. You're already back more than 10 times less than 10 times the size. Merge, exposure and gamma. And I think I cannot save this as an XLR, so I'm just gonna put this new. I can save it as Photoshop for now. Yeah. I don't really need to save as a PNG or anything. Unreal will just read it, so no problem. Let's just go back here. Let's see how much megabytes. 83. Okay. Diffuse. Normal. This one. Yeah, much better. Let's compare those two. Maybe it's already compressed here, so it's fine. It is fine. Let's mark for add. That's it. Yeah, you just take it as a hobby, and it doesn't mean hobbies cannot turn into great things. Never. I mean, you look at all the athletes. They're the successful athletes. They take it as a hobby. Basketball players, football players, chess players, dancers. They all take it as a hobby because it's what they like to do. That's it. And they just do it. They cannot control like the results, but they can control how often they do it. Hey Imra, so can you make Megascan's asset look stylized cartoony? So I'm gonna answer your question with asking you another question. What do you think it is an stylized asset? What do you think it makes assets look stylized and not realistic? What exactly it is? Because that's the root of the problem. It's not like a magic button where you can just create stylized assets and that's it. Like, obviously, stylized assets have some very particular things. Okay, so a stylized asset, basically, you don't have much detail, right? So you don't have much detail, and you just want to apply the minimum amount of information that you need. So for example, I open up this one. Take a look at the texture of this. Is it okay? It's back. Looks like it's back. I don't know when the stream crashed, so I'm not sure which part I was. But like for example, take a look at this wood plank, wooden chest. Like what makes it real? It is very solid, right? It has very straight lines. But if you just add curves to it, suddenly it becomes stylized, right? And you see these curves here? Maybe you can make this curve even bigger, like this, just to emphasize. Like I was giving the example of, like, I always find one feature that you want to emphasize and just work on that feature. Is it because I'm in Breach? I don't think so. Breach. I hate this app. As an idea, I like it. The idea that you can just download everything from here. I really love it. But it's just so damn slow. It is really slow. So I think I do have some favorites here, but I'm not sure if I can look at them. So I won't put more assets of this. I already have. I'm just looking for something flat, different. Okay. Just find one feature like you want to emphasize and exaggerate it a little bit, whether or not you Did they remove this asset? Because it will be very good if we can download this. Hmm. This one could work. This one I like, but I don't like the color. Let's try it. Uh, you can try get those in, what's the name of this? Sketchfab. Sketchfab. You can download some assets there. Some are paid, some are free. Unreal Marketplace for sure. If most of them are paid. Um, different. There are multiple 3D asset stores that you can get for very cheap price the stylized assets that you're looking for. Let's export. Let's call this B. I'm not sure if I should change the texture to another format. I mean, original source is very expensive, but when you cook it, it's gonna be cheap. I'm not sure. Am I missing something? I thought I put the three of them. Now this one, because it's there are multiple textures here. You may want to use the 2K texture, but you're not really sure. I'm not really sure if I want to do that. So I'm just gonna do this. But for assets, definitely there is a lot of free stuff out there you can get. You don't need to pay at the beginning. Or you can try to create your own. There are many tutorials. Oh, another one is the ArtStation Marketplace. That's a good starting point. ArtStation Marketplace is really good. Oh, what did I do? Huh? Yeah, use the normal map. What? Oh, I don't have the blue channel. I'm not showing the blue channel here. Why is that? Let's try to get another type of asset. No, it's oh, none of this, and it's just here. A, B, A. There you go. For new file. That's crazy. That's crazy. And this one is not really working the way I expected. Maybe we can just save this here. Like if you're wondering why I'm not changing the size of these textures in the engine, it's because it will change the size of the texture in the game. That's true, but it won't change the size of the texture in the project. So wait, this is 4K? No way. Oh god, I need a better convention. I need something like no what, let's just do it again. Just go for this. Yeah, I mean, the game, I can change this in the game where to tell them, okay, don't use the 4K, use the 2K, and that's fine. It will work in the game, but as the project file, it will be very heavy to have these 4K textures. So uh, you don't want to. I mean, especially for something you're not gonna use 4K in the future. Like it doesn't really matter. Okay, so change size and save here. What do you think about streaming on Twitch instead of YouTube? This kind of topics. I have some mixed feelings for streaming on Twitch. Main reason, it's if you miss the stream, you cannot watch it again, right? And I know that's the whole point of streaming, right? You need to be there live. Um, but that also means you need to stream every day, the whole day. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I tried to multi-stream, but I think my internet cannot handle it. I mean, my speed is okay, but since I live in China, I there's some weird stuff going on. And I bought like a router, like a very expensive internet that you can kind of use in. Why is my project lagging so much? That's so weird. But anyway, yeah, let's just work with this. And restreaming just doesn't work. I tried. I didn't try the paid solution. There is a plugin that you can use to restream. It should work fine. It should work fine. But not in my internet, so I have to decide. Obviously, Twitch it's much easier. Just hit a button to stream, and that's it. You don't need to think about much. It is much easier. And I like Twitch as a platform. I mean, as like all the stuff that they have to interact with the audience, I think it's pretty cool. But the fact that you need to subscribe to remove the ads, I don't like that. Like if you want in YouTube, you can just get a YouTube Premium if you don't want to watch ads. And that's for any kind of video you watch, not only mine, but any other kind of channel, video, get access to music if you want. You can download the videos. Yeah, it just totally different service. Whereas Twitch is like, oh, I watch this guy and I need to subscribe, and then oh, I watch this other guy and I also need to subscribe. What kind of bullshit is that? Otherwise, I see the ads and you end up just giving so much money. I'm gonna restart the project because I don't know why it's very heavy. I'm not sure exactly why. Yeah, the fact that you need to subscribe to remove the ads for a particular creator, and that's a scam. That's a scam. So if you watch more than 10 channels, you need to spend like $50 a month just to watch without the ads. That's the thing I don't like. The rest, I think it's great. I think it has a lot of interactive features, which YouTube doesn't have. But I don't know if it's Unreal or my internet. I really have no trouble when I stream Age of Empires. I have no problem at all for the streaming. Unreal is just so heavy. It has become so heavy. But anyway, we're back. Yeah, you can use the ad blockers for sure. Uh, but I saw that YouTube was detecting those ad blockers, and you kind of get detected, and they will. I don't know what was the punishment, but they are getting better at that. They are getting better at you know getting those ad blocks working for whatever reason. Let's just get this, and we need to check the size of this. Man, this is crazy. Let me quit Photoshop. Okay, so this is a really small wood plank. We don't want those. We want something a little bit bigger. So we can just make this one like this. Let's move the character. This could work. This could work. I want to create some groups for this. Like, I don't want to be everything like one asset. It doesn't make much sense. I'll be right back. I think I need to. I got some food I need to put in the kitchen. Some delivery guy came. So I will be back in like some minutes. Okay. Freaking delivery guys, they're too efficient. So I want to create some groups for this. Nothing in particular. I just don't want... I don't know which size I should go for. And I think it will be a good starting point to just measure those, like how many of those we need, if it's vertical or horizontal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need quite a few groups. And probably gonna put a couple here. A couple more that I can just put like this. Let me see. Yeah, you don't really notice. They are the same asset. Yeah, making a game. Making a game. It's a turn-based strategy game mixed with some action elements. And just try again. That's better. That's way better. So I think that's our first group. I think that's our first group. Let's ungroup this and move this here. Let's try to walk on this first. How it feels. Much better. There is more space. There's definitely more space. So what I will do is to group all of those, but not like instance group. What I'm gonna do is to create a new mesh. I'm gonna go for modeling, and let's see what will be the right choice for this. Let's just go for modeling and go to create, not create. It's mesh. I think it's create. It's not. Transform, and we will merge this into new objects. Right into new object, and that's it. Wonderful. I don't know where we want to put the pivot point, so let's just put it on the left, the right, probably at the front. Probably at the front can be a good idea. We need to think carefully about this because when we put a lot more of these instances in the game, it's just we cannot change. So just go for the center. Okay, so that's our first group. Let's try to save it somewhere. Blanks 0, 1. And let's see where we can put it. Let's see. So we have our main project, environment, and here we can just create a new folder. So wood planks. So this one is gonna be here. If you're wondering why, hey Rosefield, how are you doing? If you're wondering why I don't create the instance blueprint, it's because not really. It's, let me think about it while I do this. It's a matter of organization rather than like if I should or not. Like for me, it's easier to work with this than individual wood planks. You know what I mean? Like it's much easier for me to work with something like this and create bigger assets than if I had to put one by one. And later on, we will use these to create the assets, you know? But one thing we will use for sure, it's if this asset we duplicate it, I wanna see how many of those we need. And since I already have the buildings here, I don't really looking for. I mean, it's okay. Like, even if things are like that, you can just move them like this. So it's fine. It is fine. Truly fine. Oh, nice. You got the action game course. Good. Section 7 is actually a lot. Section 7 is actually a lot. Things start getting a little bit more complicated, but you're also getting better. So it's shouldn't be a big deal for you. I have a lot of sections. The last one obviously was the boss fight. How are you liking it so far? Is it helping you? Like, I'm not kidding. Like, that's the last course I will create in my life, just because it just so well put together for different kind of topics. Okay, so this one is fine. What about corners? What about wood corners? What if we make something like, let me just duplicate this. And let's just, okay, for this one we need, let me just try something. Okay, have a feeling it may work. There is a lot of overlap here, obviously. Um, how can we cut this? We can use booleans. We do need something like that. Mm, like even if I use a boolean here, it's not gonna matter. So maybe just something like this, or some overlapping meshes. That could work. Definitely could work. Then you go here. You know what? I'm gonna save it just because I feel it has some potential, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it. Yeah. Uh, it's coding practices are very very important for sure. They, I mean, once you know these things, probably you can feel like you can create any type of game. Like it really is like that, where you can feel like, okay, I can just create something of my own without any tutorial. I know the foundation. That's the whole idea. I think if I need to make this, if I want to make this better, I should be doing details now. Ah, that's better. This one, this overlap, I don't like. You can just move it here. Ah, that's better. It's way better. Oh, let's save it. For this kind of things, you don't really need to be exact. You can just eyeball it because of the nature of the assets. It's like this. SM wood planks tier 1 corner. And creating these assets just takes so long. I mean, it's just the way it is. Unfortunately, it is like that. We cannot do much about it. But on the long term, it's a good thing. I remember one of my tasks before leaving Ubisoft was to create some modular pieces for some architecture. You know, like houses and this kind of stuff. And I was using the, had to use the destroyed version of it. Like I needed to do the destroyed version of original assets. And I did use a lot of Unreal at that time because modeling tools just went out and the Booleans were fantastic. Fantastic. They're just so good. They were really good. Yes, yes, that's the idea. I also been through the course, and I was I wasn't making the same game. I was making a side scroller game. Same ideas, you know. That's the good thing about this. Okay, we do have that. Do we need another one? Let's try to create something with this. So let's just go and put the wood planks. The floor side won't move. It's gonna stay like this for now. And let's just try to create something. So I can let me just use this for now. And let's put the character here. The whole main idea of this is that this will become a platform that you can use. Okay. Probably, I'm not exactly sure yet, but probably a little bit thin. Let's just rotate this 180 degrees. Have to be exact with this kind of stuff. You can also put some wood planks like this. Yeah, something like that. Just to make some variation, you know. Probably here. Let's just move this one here. And let's see. Yeah, and then maybe can make a turning point here where to get back on this. And also here. And here we can make the stairs. Now, if we do have like very little assets to work with, we can always exchange those assets later. But for now, I just need the blueprint for starting to create the game. Let's just go for something like this. And let's just see how the slope of this, yeah, definitely can be lower, can be way lower. And I think we can just use this one here just to go back again. And eventually we can just make the final destination here. Only a couple of wood planks. we're not entirely under the ground here. So I need to make sure this one is we could do that. Let's see. We could try to do that. I know we just need the support, right? So why do I have more assets here? What? Yeah, that you know what you're saying to me, like you're applying what you learn and make your own changes. That's the big thing about learning the right stuff. Like I always told everybody, like you shouldn't pay to learn how to use Unreal. Like the tool itself, it's it's not the hard thing. It's it's obviously what you do with this. It's like I always give these analogies like the you know oh my god, what's this? Why am I having? Maybe I just need to open it again. It's like learning to paint is not really the hard thing, you know. Uh, sorry, learning to use the pencil is not the hard thing. To use the pencil, the pen, whatever, those are just tools, you know, for you to use, right? But obviously, if you buy a course on how to use the pen, it's not gonna be very valuable, you know. It's not very hard. Obviously, Unreal is way more, let's just call it a little bit more complex than how to use the pen. But in comparison to what you need to learn on how to create games and how to use a tool, it's pretty much the same as drawing and using the pen. Like even you know all the buttons in Unreal, that really doesn't mean much. Oh my god, we have a issue here with the colors. But instead, like if you just focus on learning, like learning to draw, learning art foundation, learning composition, you know, all that jazz, you will be in a really good position to paint, even in the computer, outside the computer, wherever you want, and even translate those skills into game development stuff. Like if you're kind of good at art, and you know you can just translate the same skills to just make anything really. And the same is for making games. Like, I don't think you need a course to learn Unreal Engine. I really don't feel that. It's just, it's all about your foundation, obviously. It is about your foundation and what to do with what you know. And that requires practice, and obviously with some guidance, well, obviously you can learn faster, for sure. But it's not something that, I mean, look at what I'm doing here. It's just drag and drop stuff. Like, I think anyone can do that, right? It's not that hard to just learn to move around the viewport and just try to create something just by drag and dropping stuff. It's not that hard, but it is the stuff that you can see and actually make decisions on what to do to make things better is what is actually important. Like here, I'm just adding more variation because I didn't rotate the stuff. And that way you won't realize it's the same asset. We do have a little bit of a problem here. This asset is darker than this. So we're gonna go here and this is a little bit too saturated. That can work. It will work much better. That's called color harmony. I mean, just looking at what you can do with the colors and thinking about all this stuff. It's very important. It is very important. And the good thing is because we're using the level instance blueprint, we will be able to change stuff later on. And for areas where we cannot walk, we can just put some assets there and it will work just fine. Also, we need to take a look at the height of things. Not everything can be the same height. Some larger, some thinner, some, you know, the more variation we add to this, the better we are off in the long run. Not everything has to be the same. I think variation is very, very important. And maybe these wood planks can be a little bit thinner. Let's just put this one here. This one here, and we can just move this. Notice that I'm not using nanite. I don't think I need nanite for this kind of detail. Not everything has. I mean, I'm using nanite. I'm not using the highest resolution for this. That's a very important thing to consider. Let's duplicate this, and later on we can add some variation. Perhaps we can just make this one a little bit wider and a little bit tilted. We'll add a lot of variation for sure. And later, then we can make this one here. Obviously, we can put this one like this, where these two assets intersect. And that's pretty much it. Let's just try to add some variation. $90 degrees, 90 degrees here. Some of those smaller, some of those bigger. You know, let's try it out. Feels a little bit narrow, right? Definitely feels a little bit narrow. One thing we can do or maybe these ones are too thick or too much on top. That's what I feel it's like not working quite well. Let's move these ones like this. You can make like one or two standing out. That could be the problem. Just by doing those manually, we're pretty much guaranteeing that everything will be very irregular. Okay, this feels much better. This feels much better. Now, one thing to notice is that this part of going down, can be its own. It can be its own asset. It's a possibility. Because technically we can move this thing here. And we won't have many problems. I just go down directly. That's definitely a choice. Definitely a choice. I'm gonna leave it like that, and I'm gonna think about it. Because this one's for sure, this one is very, very useful. But if you can actually make some even smaller modular pieces, like this one can be just one, this one can be another one. You don't really need a lot of work. So I'm gonna think about it. So let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for visiting. Say hi. I will join you in the next one where we see what we can do with this. So yeah, let's wrap it up, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.